Last night was supposed to be Rachel's girls' night. We're engaged, set to be married in 6 months. I, 32, was home alone, bored, and aimlessly scrolling through social media. That's when I saw a live video pop up from Rachel's friend Carolyn. The title, Spilling Tea, Pre-Wedding Shenanigans. I've never been the biggest fan of Carolyn. She's always struck me as a bit much, but curiosity got the better of me. I clicked. There she was, Rachel, 29, front and center with a glass of wine, laughing with Carolyn and 2 other friends, Janet and Maria. At first, the conversation was fairly innocent. Wedding stress, venue deposits, dress fittings. But then Carolyn turned to Rachel and smirked. So how's Mr. Perfect really holding up? Rachel let out this loud, dismissive snort. Oh my God, Patrick. He's so clueless. Thinks this whole wedding is just budgets and timelines. He has no idea about the real stuff. Her tone was sarcastic, mean, condescending. Janet jumped in next, teasing about how Rachel was planning to re-educate me on home decor once we're married, out with a bachelor pad beige. They laughed. Then Rachel, slurring just slightly, added, Honestly, sometimes I think he's more in love with his job and his savings account than me. But that's fine. He's manageable. Good salary. He'll fund the dream house, the vacations, once I train him up a bit. That last part made my stomach twist. Carolyn chimed in. Girl, you've got him wrapped around your little finger. Rachel smiled proudly. Pretty much. He's so predictable. So safe. He'd never suspect a thing. Thinks I'm just a sweet little angel. Then she made this mock innocent face, batting her eyes. That's when she said it. He's so clueless. And they all burst out laughing again. It was like a light went out in my chest. This wasn't just venting. It was cold, calculated contempt. I wasn't angry, at least not then, just clear, crystal clear. I typed into the live chat under my real account name, am I? The comments were flying, but Carolyn caught it. Her expression changed immediately. Oh, Rachel, she muttered, pointing at the screen. Rachel leaned in, squinting. The second she saw my name, her smile vanished. She went pale. Oh my God, Patrick. I typed again. Rachel, since you're sharing with everyone, let's be clear. The wedding is off. Engagement over. You can keep the dream house funded by someone else. Have a good night. She started fumbling with her phone, her hands shaking, trying to end the stream. Carolyn, stop it. End the stream, she was shouting. The last thing I saw before it went black was her horrified face and her stunned friends. My phone started going wild. Texts, calls from Rachel, Carolyn, even her mom. I blocked Carolyn immediately, turned off my phone, poured myself a drink, and sat in silence. The custom engagement ring we designed together sat on the coffee table, suddenly feeling heavier than ever. 15 minutes later, my doorbell rang. Rachel was there, mascara running, looking like a mess. Her mother, Deborah, stood behind her, absolutely livid. Rachel's voice cracked. Patrick, please. It was a joke. Just stupid girl talk. It didn't mean anything. Deborah stepped forward. Young man, you have humiliated my daughter over a silly prank. You can't just cancel a wedding in the comment section. I looked directly at Rachel. Was it a joke when you said I was clueless? That I was manageable? That I'd fund your dream life while you train me? She looked panicked. No, I mean yes. Yes, I said it, but it was the wine, and Carolyn was egging me on. You know I love you. I stayed calm. I don't think you do. And I definitely don't love the person I just saw in that video. Deborah cut in again. This is outrageous. We've paid deposits. Guests are invited. You will fix this. With all due respect, I replied. Your daughter publicly humiliated me and revealed that she sees me as nothing more than a paycheck. The only thing that needs fixing now is untangling our lives. The wedding is off. That's final. Rachel started sobbing. My dress, the venue, everyone saw it. You've ruined everything. No, I told her, you did that, Rachel, when you decided to broadcast your true thoughts to the world. Eventually, I told them both to leave. Deborah ranted about money and reputation. Rachel cried the whole time. They finally left. My phone kept buzzing for hours. Some texts were angry, others confused. I didn't feel much, just numb, but sure. I called my lawyer the next morning. Then things escalated. The very next day, Rachel and Deborah showed up at my job. In the lobby, Rachel was crying. Deborah was shouting. She even demanded to speak to my boss to make him see sense. Security had to escort them out. My boss later pulled me aside and said, "Handle your personal life, Patrick." But not in my lobby. Absolutely mortifying. Then came the legal threats. Rachel, through a new lawyer, Mr. Samuel, demanded I pay her $10,000 for non-refundable wedding costs, plus $5,000 for emotional distress and public humiliation. The gall. My lawyer, Christine, absolute shark, bless her, responded with a very polite letter explaining that Rachel had publicly and voluntarily violated the implied terms of our engagement by defaming me in front of an audience and demonstrating zero intent to marry in good faith. We also noted that she was the one who chose to live stream her real thoughts. Not me. Rachel seems genuinely convinced she's done nothing wrong. Carolyn, ever the instigator, has been posting vague social media rants about toxic men and weak egos who can't handle strong women. Okay, Carolyn. Interestingly, Rachel's dad, Gregory, actually called me. He's always been more reasonable. He sounded worn down and just said, "Patrick, I know she messed up badly, but this is a disaster. Her mom is beside herself. Can't we find a way to lessen the shame?" I told him, respectfully, "Gregory, she didn't just mess up. She laid out her entire plan. There's no walking that back. I'm done." He sighed and said he understood. Now Rachel's been calling me from every burner phone she can get her hands on. I blocked dozens of numbers. The voicemails swing wildly from pleading to furious. "How could you do this to me?" is her favorite line. She's also started acting out. Change the password on our shared Netflix account. Whatever. I secured all my accounts. But then I noticed a bunch of charges. Over $800 worth of skincare products. On a department store card I forgot she was still authorized on. She'd never used it for more than coffee before. I reported the card stolen and disputed the charges. Technically unauthorized. Now Christine is compiling all of this. The credit card fraud, the workplace scene, the voicemails. She says it builds a picture of someone who's not acting in good faith, which could help if they actually try to sue for the deposits. A few of our mutual friends have reached out. Some are on my side. Others are trying that she was just venting defense. Doesn't matter. I know what I saw and I know what I heard. I dodged a disaster. It's going to be messy, but it's the right kind of mess, the kind that leads to peace on the other side. She chalked it all up to being young and naive, but that's not how I saw it. Maybe she was young, but naive didn't quite fit. Calculating. That's the word that comes to mind now. The biggest nightmare was the venue. They weren't budging on the deposit. $8,000 in total, half of which I had paid out of pocket, with Rachel's parents covering the rest. Now her lawyer was demanding I forfeit my half and reimburse her parents for theirs, arguing I was the one who canceled. Christine, my attorney, shot back that Rachel's behavior amounted to a breach so severe that it rendered the entire agreement void. We reached a standoff, exhausting and expensive. I won't lie. There were moments when a sadness crept in, thinking about the future I believed we were building. Then I remember that moment, her laughing with her friend behind my back about how oblivious I was. And suddenly the sadness was replaced with clarity. Damage control became priority. 2 months later, things escalated. Of course they did. Rachel's lawyer, Mr. Samuel, must have realized the emotional distress narrative wasn't holding up, especially after Christine sent over a compilation of Rachel's unhinged voicemails, call logs from burner numbers, and even a security report from my workplace. Their strategies shifted. Now it was financial warfare, shameless and aggressive. First up, the venue. They tried suing me for the entire cost, claiming I had breached the contract. But Christine countered hard. We filed to recover my half, arguing Rachel's actions had forced a cancellation. We had everything saved. The stream, the chats, the video where Rachel herself bragged about her financial goals involving me. When Samuel realized the extent of our evidence, a especially Rachel's own words before I had ever made a public comment. He quickly backed down. In the end, we both lost our deposits. Frustrating, yes, but better than losing more. That didn't sit well with Rachel's side. Her parents were apparently furious. They didn't get their money back. Rachel and her friend Deborah then took things to another level, attacking my reputation in ways that were both vile and calculated. Someone, I'm convinced it was Caroline, probably egged on by Rachel, started spreading disgusting rumors. Lies about me being controlling, emotionally abusive, even hints at financial misconduct at work. They contacted female coworkers and even friends of friends, trying to poison the well. Then it hit my job. My boss received an anonymous email containing the same baseless garbage. I was beyond furious, but I didn't lose my temper. I calmly laid it out. The breakup, the live stream, the harassment. I said, this is retaliation. It's baseless. And you know my character. He believed me. Still, HR had performed a confidential review because of the financial allegations. It was a rough week, but thankfully everything was dismissed. No substance, no evidence, just noise. But that week cost me something. Peace of mind. That was the final straw. Trashing me to her friends. Whatever. Trying to ruin me financially. Unforgivable. But this? Trying to obliterate my career with lies? Gloves were off. Christine was already drafting a cease and desist. After the work rumors, we upgraded. Filed for a restraining order. We cited stalking, burner phone harassment, financial manipulation, even an attempt at credit card fraud. We submitted affidavits from colleagues who got the messages and emails sent to my boss. The hearing was surreal. Rachel showed up playing the broken-hearted damsel, all watery eyes and innocence. Deborah was scowling, and Caroline smirking in the back until the judge told her to sit down or leave. Samuel tried to spin the tale of the jilted fiancé. Christine calmly queued up the recordings. The stream, the clueless remark, the manageable comment. The part where she said my salary would pay for her dream house. Then came the workplace harassment, the fraud, the relentless calls. And finally, the kicker, when Christine brought up the anonymous messages and emails, Rachel muttered, "Caroline, you weren't supposed to," loud enough for our side to hear. Samuel looked like he wanted to vanish into the floor. The judge didn't hold back. He gave Rachel a lecture on accountability and the seriousness of making false accusations. He granted a restraining order, 100 yards minimum, no contact by any means, and no third-party messages either. Caroline looked like she bit into a lemon. Rachel looked like reality had just sucker punched her. Deborah muttered something about an appeal, but I didn't need revenge theater. I wanted precision. That live stream, backed up and preserved in multiple locations, is my insurance policy against any false narrative she might try to spin. I severed all financial connections. Every card, every joint account, every lingering link. If it was mine, she was out. If it was hers, I stepped back. She said she wanted to be independent? Fine. Independence granted. The restraining order now means she can't lay a finger on my life without legal consequences. Christine also sent a pointed letter to Mr. Samuel warning of a defamation lawsuit if Rachel or anyone acting for her made more false claims. Caroline was specifically named. I've heard she's now paranoid about being sued. I clean house socially, too. The so-called friends who tried to guilt me into giving her a break? Gone. I've got no room for flying monkeys in my life. The ones who stood by me, they're the ones I keep close. As for Rachel, word is she's in bad shape. Her parents are livid about the legal costs and public record of the restraining order. Their dream wedding savings? Gone, swallowed up by lawyers and forfeited deposits. She's back living with her parents because her part-time gig doesn't cover her lifestyle anymore, especially without my so-called clueless income. I never gave her a dramatic monologue or a moral lecture. I didn't need to. Reality spoke loud enough. She called in the legal system, thinking it would work in her favor. Turns out I knew the rules better. Am I happy about any of this? No. There's a bitter aftertaste to all of it, but the chaos is finally quieted. I can breathe again. I'm focusing on the things that matter, my work, my real friends, and moving forward. Trusting someone again? That's a problem for another day. For now, I'm just grateful the circus has left town, even if I had to legally force them to tear down the tent. She thought I was clueless, but in the end, she had no idea who she was dealing with.